Hello! Well, that's like really zoomed in on my face. Doesn't need to be there. Needs to be there. Roar. That definitely doesn't need to be that zoomed in. Let's zoom out a little bit. Let's see. Oh, well, hello. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm hoping that each of the different platforms is working okay. It has been a kind of a bonkers couple weeks. In fact, hey, I need to change something because I have stuff to show off. Let me do this. Where did it go? Oh, why is that not got? That's not what I wanted. Well, hello. You can see my messy office off to the side. and everything. Oh, hey, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome. Hey there. And my trusty sidekick Nunzio is curled up on my desk. Normally I don't let critters on my desk, but I just moved my office back upstairs so that I could spend time with my giant beast. Why are you biting me? And when I say giant beast, I mean giant beast. Nunzio is not kitty licorice. Nunzio is, 15 years old? 14 years old. I don't know. We got him in 2000. Yeah, he was born early 2009. So yeah, he's 14 this year, and 21 pounds of cantankerous beast. Didn't want to visit me downstairs, and if you don't, just curl up, okay, buddy? Love having you up here. Oh, hey, thanks for the subscription. Cats don't. He's doing his own thing, and he's covered up in my monitor that I'm trying to look at. I aimed everything this way so that I could read the chat, address the. And all I have is a giant beast in front of my monitor now, licking the cables. Go, hey, don't bite the cables. Not kitty licorice. Just lay down, buddy. He was like, now he's angry because I'm preventing him from. No, it's power, and I don't need you to, turn into the cat from doesn't work as well for Nunzio. Oh, we need to get the Nunzio emote back. Yes, Nunzio needs to get his emote back up there. Okay, let's cover some of the books that have come into the library recently. And we just got... Hey, stop. Don't lick. You know better. Okay, for the D20 era of Star Wars, we got... we got the Dark Side source book. So we've got this in the library already. And I'll be honest, I never did like the D20 stuff. It always felt like it was a clunky thing thrown together. But the source books were great. There was tons of wonderful stuff. It was when Star Wars was still like growing and fresh. This was coming out in the middle of all the prequels. So then you got the Power of the Jedi source book. And for those of you that don't know, the purple lightsaber actually didn't start with Mace Windu. It's the first time we see one on screen, but a year before Mace Windu comes on screen, there's a purple lightsaber used by sentient rocks that control like mechanized suits, and they all have purple lightsabers. They actually, the old Republic and the Jedi Order had, thought they were abominations, but they were force-sensitive sentient rocks that controlled these robotic suits with purple lightsabers. They went off. They survived Order 66 because no one remembers them. And no, this was in a book, not because of not in the cartoons. Like literally in one of the books, it describes purple lightsabers and everything. And then later in the books, Luke actually invites them into the new Jedi Order. And we got this one, the Hero's Guide, which I don't believe we actually have the Hero's Guide. This is one of the last books where I think we needed to, I don't want to say that because we may be missing a ton of stuff from this era of Star Wars. But the books that were put out for this era of Star Wars, not a good game, but man, were they such great reads. Let's see. Then we got Wander Home, which I'm excited. We've got a lot of people that want to play this in the library. I want to read through it. Of course, I'll be honest, I want to read through most every book that comes through. Let's see. Justicar, and I've heard really fun things about this. So, drama, mystery, justice. Justicar is a role-playing game about romanticized courtroom drama, intrigue, and comedy that puts you in the roles of judges, witnesses, and lawyers. Sounds so silly. You're just looking at Wonder Home. Wonder Home, I have not heard a bad thing about it. a pastoral fantasy tabletop role-playing game set forth into a world of grassy fields, mossy shrines, herds of bumblebees, rabbits, and, in sundresses, geckos with suspenders, starry night skies, and the most beautiful sunsets you can imagine. We will befriend stag beetles the size of houses, argue with the king of the floating mountain, fall in love with, in a basket of hot air, in the basket of a hot air balloon up in the clouds, and go on a journey with some of the most amazing people you could ask for. Sounds so much like a the guy that does all the really big the My Neighbor Totoro animes, and why can I not think of that studio? Someone in the chat will say something. Let's see, we got Ryuu Tama. We've actually had somebody bring their own copy and run this at events. Studio Ghibli, thank you. And this has gotten high praise from the people that have played it. I will show one thing that I love about this book. The chapters are color-coded. If you're going to put color in your book, do stuff like that. It is so good. Oh, yeah. It doesn't take much, and it just helps so much. Hey, can you go to the red chapter and look up, and then that way your players, especially if you know the book well, you can direct your players where they need to be. It's so much faster. It just makes the book way friendlier to use for players. It's way friendlier for GMs to learn. Oh, yeah, that is something so little, but so massive. It's just one of those things that I wish more companies did. And then we got Ethereum. It's Ethereum, the role-playing game. Never heard of this. It's from Anvil 8 Games. This was given to us by same company that puts out D and Dizzle. They're just up the road. This was like one of their last copies of this. They no longer work with the company. I don't know if the game is still in publication, but the look, and they also have color-coded sections. Man, I wish more people would listen. It's not hard to do. I love that stuff. And this is an art print set. So Riffs Works, a limited edition portfolio of Riffs art by John Zelenik. I think, and I'm 80% sure I mispronounced that. It's got the certificate of authentication. This is number 466 out of 2,000 sets. All of them are signed, and I mean, he did some of the most amazing. And did I freeze? Am I still going? Huh. My video froze, eh? Can you still hear me? I'm back. Okay. So, this is the Riffs Works limited edition portfolio of covers from John Zelenik. That was weird. I've never had that happen before. So it is a complete set of art, or it's a set of art prints of some of the most memorable covers of Riffs books, and it is super gorgeous. Do you want down now? Oh, jeez. Giant cat wants down after I start setting things on his stool. Oh. Say goodbye to Nunzio. Roar. The beast wanted to go somewhere else. Oh, he wanted to go lick my backpack. He's a strange beast. He loves the texture of the canvas straps on his tongue. His brother, while his brother was still around, his brother loved that as well. Very odd, to say the least. Okay, let's go back to this. There we go. Okay, so that was just a short amount of stuff that the library got. Awesome donations. The Riff stuff, we're probably gonna the Riff's art pieces. As much as I personally love them, they were a donation to the library as kind of a hey. You guys might like these, and you could possibly also raise some funds with them. So we're gonna try to figure out how to raise some funds with those. Oh, one last thing I wanted to share on is so I had these made while I was in Iraq. 2019, 2020, and 2020 happened, and then I went to Ukraine, and we never brought these out. But I have like 5 leather book covers. They're perfect for if you're in the military. They're perfect fit for these green books. But there's a lot of notebooks that are done this size, so it's just a nice leather cover. And then we had our logo made up. And then these are pressed in, hand pressed. So these were done by hand in Iraq, and then these were pressed in, and then the aging was actually all done with ink by hand. And I love them. So I've got like 5 of the large ones, and I've got a couple small ones. So we're going to kind of put feelers out, see what people are willing to offer us for them. I had some made for some of our team members, and then on theirs has their name on them. Mine actually, I never put my name on it. Funny enough, but I figured that if somebody, if we had enough interest, that I could live without one. So didn't need another one's running around saying the librarian on it. Hey, don't lick. That's a big. That's no. Hey, stop licking. What's with you and cords all today? He's licking a full-on power cord. He's like, no, I don't need you to lick that, buddy. Okay, now let's try going to some news. Bring the chat back up. Okay. So I talked about this 2 weeks ago, but I just want to reiterate. Gen Con's come out really fast. So Artel Sorian has stated, hey, there's going to be a big announcement for The Witcher coming up at Gen Con, just so that everyone knows. I kind of want to keep that on everybody's radar because I think it's going to be awesome. Let's see. The Marvel Multiverse role-playing game, which I still have not even looked at any of the rules, just announced. So they announced earlier this year that they're going to be doing an X-Men expansion, and they just announced yesterday that they're doing the Spider-Verse expansion. So I'm excited about this because if you look right there, just over his left shoulder, you've got Spider-Ham. Yes, Spider-Ham. It was a silly issue that was released in the late 90s, or in the late 80s, excuse me, when Marvel was doing these interesting like gray covers. And I had a copy of it for ages until someone stole my comic book collection in a move. And my Spider-Ham comic got stolen. And I think it's hilarious that Spider-Ham is in the Spider-Verse. Also, old school Spider-Woman, and that's Spider-Man 2099. I can name way more Spider-Mans than I thought I could. Actually, the newest Spider-Verse movie is doing well. It's one of the few movies out there that's doing well. So, Most of the superhero movies have been tanking. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 did well, but not nearly what they wanted. And the new Spider-Verse movie is doing well. I don't think it's doing quite as well as they wanted, but I don't think that necessarily the market's in a I don't think people are tired of superhero movies. I just think people are tired of the superhero movies we've been getting, and the only good ones we've been getting the last couple of years have been Spider-Man movies, and people are like, maybe I want something else a little more. I was hoping the new Shazam would do well. It didn't do well at the theaters. Let's see. I want to remind everybody the new Orc license was released at the end of last month. So there's a couple things coming out under the Orc license. There's a couple small companies that said, hey, we're going to do our own. And from looking at it, they want to do I think they don't understand how big of a mess they're going to stir up with their own. Not saying that they're going to stir up a mess with the Orc license in their own little world, because they were like, oh well, we want to be able to like label things out. And I'm like, oh, you just going to make trying to dice up one book into different types of licensees is an insane project. But more power to them. I am really excited the Orc license is out. It's for the most part what I thought it should be. It's pretty straightforward. I monitored it through the growing, and it was great because there were a lot of really small companies that signed on, like, we have to have this, and they were wanting a very, very narrow license. And I love that Paizo and Chaosium, some of the bigger players, said, no, that's not what this is for. This is a big open license to say people can use your generic rules. If you want what you're asking for, then you have to, then you do a independent license on top of the Orc. The Orc basically just covers using the core rules. It doesn't cover using any proprietary, any copyrighted material, anything like that. So I like that Paizo and Chaosium and the people behind the scenes that were really doing the bulk of it really did well with it overall. So if you haven't read through the Orc, absolutely worth a read if you're into nerdy lawyer stuff. And the more I get into this, the more I get into the nerdy lawyer stuff. So I bring this Renegade City up because a couple weeks ago, everyone was up in arms because Renegade Games went after Polyhedral Knight, said, hey, you gotta cease and desist. And I don't know the exact backstory of what happened. To me, it still sounds like somebody in their legal department just kind of went overzealous, because the very next day, like the head of Renegade was like, oh, no. And, message put out, Polyhedral Knights was like, hey, we're good, they're good, we're good, and it was rectified fairly fast. And I hope that whoever jumped the gun on that got at least a stern talking to. And I don't know when or if they're going to relaunch this. Actually, let me click on Polyhedral Knight, see if they've relaunched it yet. Doesn't look like they haven't relaunched it yet. So I know that they're going to relaunch it soon, which I look forward to it. And good on Renegade for actually, and it sucks it kind of took them as long as it did, but I think more that the leadership at Renegade was kind of caught off guard by this. Because reading the all the stuff I did from Renegade, it sounded like, oh, shit, we're sorry. Like, it wasn't the, hey, we fucked up, like, non-apology. It was the, oh shit, somebody really messed up, and we apologize. And Polyhedral Knight was actually, they put out a message that was really cool. So good news. New game coming out. War Stories, a World War II RPG by Firelock Games in Year Zero engine, which Year Zero engine is the core engine from Free League. So Mutant Year Zero, Alien, Vaesen, all those games. It's a pretty solid. It's very solid system, and I think would work really well in a World War II setting. So, but really excited for, like, we don't get that many real world RPGs, and yeah, they don't apply. They don't. It was like was it the wheelchair that came out? I'm all for the wheelchair rules being out there, but I actually had somebody sit down at my table, and somebody in a wheelchair, came up, and they were going to be playing in my game, and somebody happened to have the wheelchair rules for the game we were going to be playing, and they're like, "Oh, hey, you have to allow wheelchair rules in." I was like, I don't know, I don't have them, I never, and they're like, "Oh, I have them," and I was like, "Okay, fine, whatever. If you want to play a character in a wheelchair, we'll figure it out." And then that person slides them over to the person in the wheelchair, like, "There you go," and the person in the wheelchair was like, "I live this, like, I don't want to play this." So I understand why, like, realistic games don't tend to do well or don't come out that often, because, as a soldier, kind of an odd thing for me to play soldier now. But for some people, this could be a big escape. Somebody that's never done anything with the military and wants to kind of relive some, or recreate some war battles or whatever in World War II. And it is interesting because we tend to be more the hero in RPGs, where, there were a lot of, well, I don't know, yeah, you read through the battles in World War II, there were a lot of people, but there were also a lot of people that just stood out for doing bonker stuff. Was it Mad Jack with the Brits, who went into combat with a bow and arrow, and one time he got off a ship with a claymore and playing the bagpipes. Yeah, exactly right. To Pulsar, taking RPGs back to a wargaming route. So this could be really interesting. Definitely not going to be everybody's cup of tea, because it is, based on real life stuff. So I am intrigued to look through it, and it's a game engine that I think will lend well to that setting. Yeah, Audie Murphy. Go to World War One. The consciousness ejector from World War One, not Hacksaw Ridge. That's World War Two. I'm checking. I'm thinking. Sergeant York, but you got Private Dawson from Hacksaw Ridge. There was a lot of Medal of Honor awardees in World War II. A lot of what's the British Cross, which it might be just the British Cross. It's kind of the equivalent of our Medal of Honor. Okay, let's see what's next. Oh, this is kind of sad news. It's going to come up tiny on your screen. So Jasper's Game Day, if you don't know, Jasper's Game Day has been a charity gaming event, and most of their funds and everything have gone to, hey, stop biting me, have gone to, like, mental health, stuff like that. So Jasper's Game Day says, hello all, I wanted to notify you that all of you that Jasper's Game Day will be coming to an end as a charity. Doesn't mean that they're ending. It's bittersweet. I have been so fortunate over the past few years to be able to influence and be influenced by both the mental health and gaming communities. So I'm hoping that Jasper's Game Day will continue. If it's not a charity in itself, that that they're able to, maybe they become a club or something like that, an event, and they continue to exist, because you don't have to be like they don't have to be a nonprofit to continue to expand gaming and mental health, because I want them to keep around for that. They're doing good. So, and I love their message: raising funds and awareness for suicide prevention. You're not a critical failure, which is very true. Lost my best friend 6 years ago this year. So, let's see. Renegade Games. Renegade Game Studios partners with Night Studios to expand distribution. So, this happened last month, and don't know how we missed it, but by Night Studios, and I'm trying to think of what games. Oh yeah, they're doing all the Mind's Eye Theater stuff. Yay! Why I could never remember that. So the Mind's Eye Theater stuff is the live action stuff for Vampire the Masquerade. So this partnership will allow By Night Studios, which is very small in comparison to Renegade Games, because Renegade Games has been killing it the last couple of years, that they're going to be able to put more, they're going to be able to bring all that Mind's Eye Theater stuff to more people. So, very excited. I never got into I always loved the World of Darkness stuff, never got into the LARP stuff, but this is great news for the people that are into the Mind's Eye Theater and all the vampire marketing, LARPing world. Stop. Yes, By Night came out of the original split during the end of the World of Darkness. Yeah, that was a weird period, and it's nice because By Night Studios has kind of kept they definitely kept the LARPing end of World of Darkness alive for ages, and when World of Darkness has gone through so many iterations, and now Renegade is doing the vampire stuff. They're starting to put it out more and more, and partnering with the By Night Studios to get all the LARPing stuff out to the masses is going to be, I think, really good for them. So Modifius just released a quick start for their Dreams and Machines. A world in the far future, cut off from Earth, the inhabitants balance on a razor's edge between technological distrust and reverence. A world where sleeping mechs form part of the landscape, part of the culture. Banners and flowers decorate the rusting Goliaths, while the communities that make their homes around them celebrate births, festivals, and harvests, all in the shadows of the tools of devastation, now slumbering, their former purpose forgotten. Rumors swirl of a dark city, and yet more tell of walkers, mechs that move, that kill, that cannot be stopped, but rumors always swirl, like cloth in the wind. So this sounds like a really cool world that they're putting together. Super excited for it, and I'm sure it's going to use Modifius's 2D20 system. So, really cool looking world. Turn of Gundam, the RPG. I don't know Turn of Gundam, so it's basically a world that had tech. That the tech is now all but forgotten. I mean, it's there, but it's not there. So looks like you're gonna have guns and laser pistols and swords and possibly magic. So could be super cool. Shadow Dark. So this was just a massive hit on Kickstarter, and Shadow Dark was. And Shadow Dark, I think the PDF has gone out to all the backers. The books haven't gone out yet. And then this is a level 1 free, it's part of his mega dungeon. So, Tombs of Hunters, part of my Dungeons 23, which thank you, World Wizards Coast, for derailing that whole cool thing. Dungeon 23 was every day you make part of a mega dungeon, and I think maybe we will try to do this next year. Starting, we'll do like a big New Year's Eve, New Year's Day thing, and start doing a big dungeon for the community to put out. Maybe we'll do something like that every year. So, if you're into the Mongoose Traveler game, the Imperial Navy book just came out, and super duper cool because I just like the Traveler world. I think it's really cool, and it's such a big cool world. So, big announcement from Renegade. You can now buy the Power Ranger collector books. So they have a handful of these available in the US. It's $300 for the whole set. So each one of these is the core rulebook. There's just one color for each ranger, which $300 is not bad for 6 books. Yeah, they're all the same book, but it's really cool to sit down. We've been getting the Rangers to sign ours, and then you can actually buy the individual colors. So if you want to, be just your Blue Ranger all the way through, you can just buy a Blue Ranger book, which I think is cool. And it is really nice that they actually have the core set available as well. And with that, they just released Power Rangers Across the Stars. And need to see if we can get our hands on a copy of this. And then I don't know if we talked about this, but it's super cool. Essence 20. So Essence 20 is their hey, thanks for the bits. The Essence 20 is Renegade Games' core system for Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and Transformers. And the field guide to action adventure, you can play G.I. Joe, Power Rangers, and Transformers all together with this source book. You'll need the core rule books for each of the systems, because there's little differences, because you got to figure out how to make a Transformer, of course. But how badass is it that you can play, G.I. Joe with say you make a Power Ranger G.I. Joe force to take on, the Destructicons. I know I want to play that. Let's see. The pre-order for the new Vaesen Lost Mountain Saga is up. So a couple weeks ago I talked about, hey, this was coming. Well, now the pre-order for it is up. And it looks, like I said then, part of me is a little sad because I think it's cool that it's based on somebody's podcast. But I'm also sad that it's not. I was really hoping that they would continue to do like different regions, finish off Europe and then do China, Mongolia, India, because it's a cool, it's a system that you can do that. You can just do different regions of the world for the next ages. The book does look really good, and been reading little snippets about the world that was created, and I think it's going to be a good. Expansion. So, Fantasy Grounds has a sale, and I thought I was on their sale page. Oh, I guess I am. So they got a bunch of D&D stuff on sale, which is they're not on much of a sale, but it is nice to have anything on sale at all nowadays. Let's see. I thought they had more stuff on sale. Oh, maybe it's everything. Excuse me while I just randomly scroll through things. Why Why is it only showing me D&D stuff? I don't care about D&D. Well, I do, but I don't. Fantasy Grounds does more. Let's see, we'll do Goodman Games. Search. I said Goodman Games. Fallout. I know that Fallout for Modiphius is. There we go. Okay, so Fallout. Cool. They're looks like the Fallout stuff is like 20% off or so. So that is cool. So if you have Fantasy Grounds, there is a it looks like they basically have everything on sale. So summer sale has license 50% off for standard, 30% off for ultimate, add-ons up to 50% for the next 3 days and 4 hours. So you can get the Fantasy Grounds for $39 for the standard license, $149 for the ultimate license, and then, like I said, tons of their other stuff is also on sale. Let's see. Have the Primal take on Lord Zed. Let's see. Starfinder Core Rules is also on sale. Nice. As is CP Red. I don't know CP Red. Cryptozoic. So this one will make a lot of people excited. I never got into the Adventure Time cartoon. It was just after my time. Well, no, I know CD. I know CD Projekt Red. I did so. Oh, Cyberpunk Red. Oh, Cyberpunk Red. Okay, hang on. Let me go. Nice. Yeah. I think most everything they have on their site is on sale. I gotta get a hold of different companies and say, hey, start sending us your games. Cyborg is a really cool game. I love the Cyberpunk Red stuff. I love the original Cyberpunk stuff. Actually, so I love the setting for Shadowrun. I like the world and the rules for Cyberpunk because everybody tries to point towards different movies and stuff, but I think honestly most of our Cyberpunk essence really comes from the Cyberpunk role-playing game. Because Mike Pondsmith took little bits from everybody and created this much bigger world. Because the cyberpunk world he created is far dirtier and grittier than even what what's that movie? It just said Blade Runner. Blade Runner is dark and gritty, but not nearly as dark and gritty as the cyberpunk world. And done a great job of really building that world out over the years. And our friends just up north that's Artel Sorian, and just a little further north is the Itenneco folks. No, Nunzio, he doesn't get fed till 9 o'clock. He's on a feeding schedule because he got fat. He went up over 21 pounds. His healthy weight's right around 20. Okay, I was saying Cryptozoic is announcing that Adventure Time is doing a RPG. So they be doing their Kickstarter soon. Let's see if it might have launched by now. Nope, still coming soon. And like I said, Adventure Time, I was a little past their target mark. Yes, he is a giant cat. I was a little past the target market for Adventure Time when it came out. I never got into the noodly spaghetti animation. Okay. Our friend in over in the UK, Chris Shepperson. Um, Shep is releasing a new solo RPG, solo horror RPG. Um, and I will probably have him on this Sunday. I gotta verify to chat about this. Well, all the cool stuff he's got going on, and this game. And he's like, it's a pretty dark game, and it's very. So it's funny because he worked on Slay Industries 2. That's where he got his start. Then he works, his day job is working for Modifius. And then at night, he creates other RPGs. So when he's not at his day job creating RPGs, he's at home creating RPGs. And then still has a life. So he created a great cyberpunk RPG. Gaia's... Why can't I think of it? Gaia's Complex. Gaia's Complex was really cool, and he's done 2 expansions for it. So the Game of Flesh and Wires. Oh, so he launched it, canceled it, launched it fully, and he's got the Hardwire, which all these did pretty well. It's actually a really cool D12 game. We got a copy of his Kendo Koala and Friends, an adorable game. And then he goes to a dark solo horror RPG. An immersive solo horror role-playing game and journaling experience about facing death and atoning for the wrongs of an ill-spent life. Trust me, at my age, I will not be playing that because I'm living that. You know, like, oh God, what have I done wrong? Yes, logical transition. Yes, he does have range. He is like, it's funny because I chat with him about stuff, and I gave him some silly ideas. He's like, "Oh no, these are all going in my notebook." He goes, "I can't wait to work on these." I'm really good at giving silly ideas to game designers. Let's see, this one excites me. I need to get Shane Hensley. I don't know why I keep calling him Hennessy. I have for years. That's why. So this is the Savage Worlds 20th anniversary celebration, and it was funny because, like, the day before this launched, we were doing some stuff with the library, and we're like, "Wait, Savage Worlds is that old?" And I was like, "Hang on, let me grab the first edition of Savage Worlds," and I was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be 20 this year," and then bam. The very next day, the updated 5th printing of the best-selling Savage Worlds game system, and it grew out of one of my favorite games of all time, Deadlands. It has so much of Deadlands in it. Definitely cleaned up some issues with Deadlands. Like, Deadlands had like 8 or 10 stats, which it didn't need. I mean, it had like 3 different stats. Had like smarts and cunning and knowledge, and it's like, okay, let's kind of combine those. But Deadlands, it made for such an amazing world, and there, let's see, 32 created. So player's handbook and digital is $15. The player's cover variant A print is $25. Variant B, variant C, variant D, variant E. 5th printing, just the standard print. So when it goes to market, hang on. Lay down, stop licking wires. For $100, you get the accessory box that has all the variants and the accessory box. Then for 150, you get the 20th anniversary celebration print, which is all the variants, the accessory box, the card box, and 20th anniversary, the 20th anniversary book, and all the stretch goals. So there's what you get with the $150 one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or so the 5 variant covers, the standard cover, the accessories box, and all the accessories and cards. So if you can't tell, I really like Savage Worlds. I think it's a really good game system. And I wonder what kind of stretch goals they have. Those are add-ons. Unlock the player's box. Let's see. Do I remember when they did the Pirates of the Spanish Main? No, I do not remember that. So, wow, they have a ton of stuff. Card sleeves. Protect your cards with these specialized sized 3.5 inch by 5 inch card sleeves. All print backers receive a bundle of sleeves and can grab more as add-ons to protect their entire collection. Vote for setting edge cards. We've unlocked edge cards for Deadlands, plus an accompanying digital file with a blank archetype card. And it's funny, my new backpack that I got earlier this year. So I'd been looking for a backpack that could carry a 17-inch laptop, and they partnered with Equilibrium, the bag company, and they make these little cool shields that you can swap on in and out. And I just had a generic shield, so I took it off because it wasn't doing anything. But I really like the bag because it'll hold a 17-inch laptop. That's so much laptop. Laptop would be in there, but I'm using it right now. And so they partner with them, and the cool little shell on the back. And my power bank for shows. As I make a mess of everything, my power bank for shows. It's a cassette tape, but it's actually a power bank. And its little carrying case is like an old cassette tape. Okay, let's see what else is on the Kickstarters. Corpborg. I think this one is hilarious. I'm looking forward to this one. Corpborg, a Morkborg-inspired office crawl OSR. Evil corporations, demons, and imminent apocalypse. So, I guess imagine Morkborg meets Dilbert. Corporate hierarchy. This one to me actually looks pretty hilarious. In 6 classes, like the salesman, the engineer, and or the designer. Evil conglomerates to bring down. Official tools to fight with, like paper cutter, blade, keyboard, or coffee mug. Office tools, to fight with. There's your office tools. So you can back it at €13 to get your digital version. €32, $36 to get the hardcover version. $44 gets you the the book, the PDF, and tear off resume templates. That is an awesome way. I was reading Dilbert with more blood. Yes. The company is great. Was reading Orkborg, and it was so cared. Yeah. It's what I love about the Morkborg stuff. It is this chaotic thing, but it is laid out in a way that it's still readable and consumable. Unlike, what was it, Hull back in the 90s, that was literally made to be unplayable because it is all done by hand and it is just a chore to read. Oh. See, $88 gets you the mysterious version of the book with a surprise cover and handmade details on the inside, plus the PDF and tear-off resume templates. Are they... Oh no, they're out. They don't have any more. No. I didn't want to do that. So 8 days ago, they were doing well for a small little morkboard thing. I think it's hilarious. Somebody in our Discord shared this with us. They've got 13 days to go. A single cube that replaces an entire polyhedral dice set. So I'm going to play this video. My sound is off, but I'm hoping that... Okay, I guess my sound isn't off. So it's a D6 with spinner faces. Interesting. Looks neat. Lord of the Dice. £4 or $4 gets you a coin. $20 gets you a set of 6. $33 gets you a dice box. Then $49 gets you one Lord of the Dice. Oh, like especially your choice of finishing color. For inked finishes, please pledge an extra £1. 46 gets you 2 nest boxes. 70 gets you 2 of the super cool dice. $94 gets you a box, the cool die, and a set of coins. Oh, they're going heavy on those boxes. What is the difference between the different... There's your D4, your D6, your D8, 10, 12, and Undead Worm. Stalker Dragon. So gold inked, bronze inked, gunmetal gray inked. So you could get... Oh, the coin was for £4. The coin set was $4. The coin set was $20. One die is $49, which kind of makes sense because this is a pretty bonkers die. Each one of the faces spins, so manufacturing that is not cheap or easy. So interesting. I think it's a neat idea. Wow. I don't know how well they'll play out. It's a nice box. Tome of Intriguing Options. So this one was also linked in... it's also not small. What was the size on it? Thought the measurements were up here. Oh yeah, that's quite big. I mean, that's nearly 2 inches. So yeah, that's a sizable die. So I get the price now. So. Tome of Intriguing Options, a supplement to horror plus intrigue swashbuckling RPG system featuring high fantasy, space opera, new dueling styles, and more. a swashbuckling supplement for honor and intrigue. So this was shared on our Discord. In 2012, Basic Action Games released Honor and Intrigue, a cinematic standalone swashbuckling RPG system built on the same streamlined engine as Barbarians of Lemuria Sword and Sorcery RPG, but adapted specifically to reflect the feel and tone of swashbuckling genre. So, I like. There's not many pirates or swashbuckling things out there. Hey, free tabletop RPG that just released is Cracker Barrel Has Fallen. Absolutely free. You can play as a Waffle House employee during the zombie apocalypse. That sounds great. I will have to look that up. Cracker Barrel Has Fallen. I will look that up in just a moment. So if you were into Honor Intrigue, this is definitely an expansion for you. Okay, I'm going to look up Cracker Barrel Has Fallen. Defend the last Waffle House standing against zombie apocalypse in this cheesy 2-page tabletop RPG. Oh my word. Boop-a-doo. Oh, that has a lot of yellow. Hot. No, it's a 2-sheeter. Because you never want something on the back of your sheet. You're flipping back and forth. I take no pleasure. Hang on. I take no pleasure in reporting that the Cracker Barrel has fallen. You hear from the general manager over the old hand crank radio. You know this was this coming. First, it was Zaxby's. Then Bojangles. Now Cracker Barrel. This zombie horde will stop at nothing. The National Guard can evacuate you, but they can't get here for 6 more hours. Hold the fort until then. Don't let anyone leave, and I'll see you under the yellow sign. The radio goes silent. You all, the employees and patrons of your town's Waffle House, are the last line of defense until this zombie horde takes over your town. That's hilarious. I find that hilarious as could be. Special skills, CPR certified. Close up magic. Data entry, martial artistry. Scout leader, tall enough to reach the high shelves. That's funny. I don't know the meme or whatever it's going on about, but somebody did a good job of doing a fun little zombie game with Cracker Barrel and zombie or Waffle House and stuff. He uses the Waffle House Index, which is a real FEMA chart. Yes, I do know. I do know the FEMA chart. I'm in the National Guard, and we have in our state one of the Homeland Response Force. Our state is Homeland Response Force number 10. So not every state has a Homeland Response Force. So we cover an area, and I did some stories on it. And when I found out about the Waffle House, because I thought I'm interviewing senior NCOs and colonels, and they make reference to the Waffle House chart, and I just keep going with the interviews, and they keep bringing it up, And after a little while, I'm like, hey, I need you people to be serious. Can we stop talking about the Waffle House chart or waffle? And they're like, oh no, it's a real thing. And then they show it to me, and I'm like, oh geez, how do I tell this story without like bringing up the Waffle House index, which every interview had brought up, because I don't want to look like an idiot when I'm putting the story out. Because the general public that are interested in National Guard stories or military stories either know about the Waffle House Index and they think it's hilarious, or they have no clue and they're going to tune me out as soon as I bring up the Waffle House Index when I'm talking about the Homeland Response Force. But anyways, hilarious. They bring up the Waffle House Index, and they're doing a fun tongue-in-cheek. I sad to inform you, Cracker Barrel has fallen. Yes, Waffle House is dinner and a show. I have been to a Waffle House at way too early in the morning, and it's not a good place to be. Okay, next couple days. So this launches tomorrow. Either this weekend or early next week, we'll be chatting with the game designer. He is from Germany, and this is a really, like, what I've got to see of it so far. The little samples that he sent look really cool, and I actually can't wait for it to launch. So we'll be talking about it again next week, and we'll talk about it when we chat with the designer. So, adventuring between heaven and hell in fantastical Renaissance Italy. I'm a big history nerd and anthropology nerd, so stuff like this makes me go, ooh. Very Dante's Inferno. I kind of hope it is, and I kind of hope it isn't. I hope that it is definitely their own take on it. Because it says between heaven and hell, so it could be, translating between both. Let's see, Heroic Adventures, an Adventure Chronicles game. Heroic Adventures is a tabletop role-playing game that combines fast-paced combat, engaging roleplay, and card-based initiative. I like things that take the initiative out of. I go first. Let's see. Heroic Adventures. So I like things like card-based initiative. It's part of the reason why I like Savage Worlds and stuff so much. See, character creation is simple and characters remain easy to play even at high levels. At the same time, the simple rules come together in an elegant mixture that requires preparation and strategy to succeed. The outcomes of combat and preparation of adventure will require players to contribute to the arc of the naturally developing story. That sounds kind of cool. Looks like it's decently well put together. Looks like they've even done little animations to show you how the cards work. That's kind of cool. Nice. So your initiatives, and then there can be bonus actions on your cards. That's kind of cool. Very neat. The only problem I have with cards, especially unique cards, with card games, because I've seen a number of them over the years, and when you don't use a standard deck of cards, it's one thing that players have to buy. I don't find it nearly as annoying as specialty dice. Specialty dice drive me bonkers. Especially card decks, just because they don't tend to get, because it sucks when specialty dice get tossed into your dice bag, and then now you're like digging through your bag of dice looking for the last random specialty die you need for the game that you're trying to play. Whereas like decks usually stay nearby the book, and then when you pull it out, you're like, oh, look, there's the deck of cards, and you can move forward. And if you lose the cards, you end up never playing the game again. So deck of cards is always kind of a double-edged sword. It allows you to do extra cool things for like initiative and combat and stuff. But if you lose the specialty cards, well, you've lost the game. See. Nightwork, an occult-themed tabletop role-playing game set in Victorian London. I like that there's more Victorian-era games coming out. It's an interesting period of time. Lots of media has been done in that, but not as many RPGs. We get a lot of... Everybody wants to go back to Call of Cthulhu stuff in that time frame. You're like, yay, can we do other stuff? So... Most of them do tend to be a bit horror related, but I guess if I lived in, if I experienced today and went back to Victorian times, it would be a bit of a horror. They say the PDF is 99% complete. That's nice. So $10 gets you a copy of the PDF. That's it. There's your pledge. So basically, as soon as this closes, they're ready to. Ship out, which is kind of cool. 9 days to go. 40 Foes, a cyborg-compatible bestiary. I talked about this a couple weeks ago. They'll end before our next news show, and I thought it was neat. I'd like to talk about it again real quick. It's 40 Foes. It's a small book for cyborg, and you just get 40, a little bestiary. It's a critical roles, new things, seemed very Victorian. Didn't watch a lot of it. I haven't watched any of their stuff, but maybe I will check it out. Yeah, Victorian things I think are kind of in right now. A lot of cyberpunk stuff has been big for the last couple of years, which is cool. So if you're into Cyborg, this would probably be a cool add-on. And looks like they're fairly far along, and they've kept the aesthetics. Let's see. Our friends over at Story Engine. So we've got some of their core stuff and some of their expansions, and really like what they make. Story Engine is really cool. If you haven't looked at Story Engine stuff, definitely need to check out what Story Engine is. It's a cool card set that allows you to, if you're GM, it gives you all the tools to build out a cool world. Waiting for John from Silver King to get some of their stuff in. I'm stubborn about supporting game stores. Hey, be stubborn about supporting game stores. I want people to support local game stores. And Story Engines has some really cool stuff. Maybe I'll go talk to John and Doug over at Terra Crux and some other people and say, hey, pick some Story Engine stuff up. I think it'll sell to your GMs, because they're great tools, not only for GMs, but just if you want to write a story, or you're putting together a podcast and you want to tell a story. These are really awesome. They give you little, just random cues and points to build off of. Really, really cool. I like it. I love any tools that can make a GM's job that much easier. And then Gloomhaven Grand Festival. 9 days left. They're at $3.3 million, and they're killing it. But to get into the role-playing game edition, so you got to go to the back-it. You can see Buttons and Bugs is $15. Then you got the RPG Deluxe box set, $90. Then you can go to the board game for $130, and then you can just add on tons of miniatures. For $30, you can get the core rulebook for the RPG. If you just want to do the core rulebook, it's only $30, which is actually not bad at all. The deluxe box set for RPGs looks pretty bonkers. So storage box, RPG core rules with deluxe cover, deck cards for 16 classes and 8 ancestries, modifier decks for 5 players, background deck, character sheet pad, and a screen with element trackers. So, and it looks like they've gotten a lot of gameplay live. So, always good. Okay, I like GameFound, really do, but I'm going to show you. I've tried to get GameFound. Like, they need to make their stuff more searchable. So I type in RPG, and it brings up 36 projects. So where did my mouse go? There we go. I'm gonna go to Cyberpunk RPG. Why does it list a game that is already funded and closed? That drives me nuts. One of the top. It's the first game because the first one is Terrain, which is done by Dwarven Forge. Which Dwarven Forge makes some really cool stuff. So if you're into Dwarven, this is just a preview. So the first thing is a preview. The second thing is a game that's already finished. I got to go to the third thing to get something that is actually, and it's only got 3 days left. Why would that not be the first thing? It drives me nuts. I love GameFound. They're doing a good thing, but hey, GameFound, if you listen, your site has to be easier to search. It is not that easy to search. And then if I go to a game, some of them will have all these tags, which is cool. So I click on RPG, and then, hey, look, this has 9 days left. But there's no, like, quick tags or links or anything for games in on the front page. Yeah, it's their layout, their searchability is such a frustrating thing. I felt like taking a second mortgage out. I'd go nuts on Dwarven Forge. Yeah, and Dwarven Forge has said they want to help support us, but the problem with Terrain, but the problem with that is, where do I keep it all, and what events do I take it to? It's tough. My other cat came in and then left. She's like, not going to pay attention to me. Let's see. Humble Bundle. So Black Library. So 27 books for $18. And if you've not read the Black Library, so there's a couple Bretonian books there right off the bat. There are 4 Bretonian books. Then a 40K book. And another, let's see, a bunch of 40K books. Magnus Red. This is a good book. Let's see, Indominus, Jeez, yeah, some of these are really good book. This is a great book. Then we'll go back to some of their fantasy stuff, their Ravenloft-esque stuff, Cadia. So a lot of really good books. And the cool things with these is there's a lot of things that you can take for inspiration from the Warhammer Fantasy and Warhammer 40K universes. They're so enthrallingly built out. I really enjoy those worlds. So really cheap batch of books that you can get some inspiration from. And then Red Sonja. I know some people today don't like Red Sonja, but the stories are great. And if you are playing, because there's a bunch of different Conan games out there, and Red Sonja is in the Conan world, and she's actually a pretty badass character if you read the Red Sonja stuff. But so always some great stuff to pick up if you want to get into the sword and sandal stuff. Yeah, a lot of it does look like, and some of the older, especially the older Red Sonja stuff, is really good reads. Like I said, only watched the movie. The movie was horrible. I I love the movie and I hate it. I read it for the plot. See, if you actually do read the Red Sonja books for the plot, the Red Sonja is actually a really cool character, and because it's the same world as Conan, both Conan and Red Sonja do a great job of building up the sword and sandal worlds, which we don't get nearly as much written in the sword and sandal. So most of our fantasy, old school fantasy stuff is knights and armor and stuff, where Red Sonja and Conan are they're barbarians, and the magic is very there's only a small group of people that actually possess magic within their world. So magic is like crazy rare, and that's why like Red Sonja and Conan are super badass. Like Red Sonja, if you haven't read the stories, go read the stories, because like she is pretty badass because of magic and prophecies and all kinds of cool stuff, and she's the way she is for a reason. And actually also explains why she runs around in a skimpy bikini. It really that ties in fairly funny into the story. But basically, she's nigh invincible. Then, this has 3 days left on it. The Ultimate RPG Guides book bundle. So $18 for 22 items or more. So, character backstory guide, gameplay guide, world building guide, micro RPG book. We actually have a physical copy of this book. We just got recently. Character backstory for in the expand your genres. Drink masters, so if you want to make alcoholic drinks for your events. Greek mythology. Mermaids. A dragon walks into a bar. 300 one-liners, zingers, and jokes that'll slay them. RPG joke books. The Dungeon Master's Cookbook. Celtic myths. Viking myths. Random encounters. This is really good. Fairies, unicorns, vampires, dragons, everything tabletop games. Civilized Guide to Tabletop Gaming. There is no civilized anything when you sit down. A Dictionary of Made-Up Languages, which is actually super cool because it allows you to pull like some Elvish or you want to throw Klingon into your stuff. It's pretty awesome to have this, to just be able to throw in actual words of made up languages into your game. Really super cool to have. Women of Myth, wizards, all kinds of cool stuff. So great things for GMs and players to have. And then our last site is the one that this is what we end on every week. So the Dark Eye Mega ends in 4 minutes. If you want to get into this collection, you have 4 minutes to do so. So $25 gets you. So this game is big in Germany. So you get the Dark Eye, the Armory, their Armory of the Wandering Kingdoms, the Magic of the Adventura Almanac and Map Set, Conspiracy of Mages. So all that is $25. And if you go up to $46.68, you get all that plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 6 more books on a GM screen. So, well, actually even more than that, because some of these are bundles. So this is a Bestiary. This is Theater Knights 1 through. That's 6 books. Legacy of Theater Knights. So you got 3.5 minutes to get that if you want it. Root. 21 days left. If you have not played the Root RPG, it is adorable. So $15 gets you the Root role-playing game. Travelers and Outsiders. Root Clearing Book. The Clearings of the Woodland Near Vagabonds. And 4 Quick Start sets. So Root Quick Start, Burmington's Cove, Pinnacle Glade, and Talon Hill. So $15 gets you a bunch of stuff. Hey Minerva, what's going on? The little cat's come in and gone out. Let's see. World Grapher. World Grapher collection for $30. 3 World Grapher Pro license keys. Okay, so you get the 3 Pro license keys. I don't know anything about this. And then if you go up to 4141, you also get the 11 hex map icon sets. Yeah, if she comes back in, I will throw her up on. So World Grapher Pro license retails for $90. Okay, I'm going to go to their website because we still got one more that we need to go through on this site, but I have never seen this software before. Okay. Well, they've got a Java version. Okay, I've not seen that before. I'm intrigued. Well, for $30 you can get three licenses, so you and 2 of your friends can can use World Grapher. And Warlock Warpstar, $13 get you. This is open for 7 more days. So, $13 gets you Warlock Traders Edition, Rules Light, Grim and Dark, Nasty, Old School British Role Playing. Warlock Compendium 3, optional rules and random tables that can add color and weight to Warlock. And 3 Warlock source books, Kingdom, Rebec, and Buccaneer. And if you go up to $25, you get Warpstar. So it's the Warlock rules for space, and 4 Warpstar supplements. Dire Threats, Hegemony, Omoron, and Caldera. So, Brit-style RPGs. Oh, I like how they describe that. Well, it has been a lot of fun. I'm going to have to check out this thing. And I hope everybody... Let's see. Oh, you've used World Grapher. It's great for that. For that more hex crawl feel. Okay. Yeah, I mean it is a hex based thing, so I guess if you're building out hex crawls, that would be awesome. So, thank you all for tuning in. Nunzia left me with a pillow full of cat hair. Minerva just came in and left. Minerva is tiny; she's 6 pounds. And Nunzio is 20 pounds. I have the extremes of cats in the house. So thank you all for tuning in, and till next time, the library is now closed, but I want you to make sure you go out and you game with people. Go have fun, do awesome things, and be good to everyone. And you too can have a giant maw gnawing at you on the back of your office door. Good night, everyone. The library is now closed.